I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Ted Mitchell, our commencement speaker today. Ted Mitchell is the president of the American Council on Education, the major coordinating body for America's colleges and universities. Prior to coming to ACE, Ted was the undersecretary of the United States Department of Education, responsible for all post-secondary and adult education policy and programs, as well as the $1.3 trillion federal student aid portfolio. Prior to his federal service, Mitchell was the CEO of the New Schools Venture Fund, a national investor in education innovation. He has served as well as president of the California State Board of Education, president of Occidental College, and in a variety of leadership roles at UCLA, including vice chancellor. Ted was deputy to the president and to the provost at Stanford University and began his career as a professor at Dartmouth College, where he also served as chair of the Education Department, as the Department of Education. Please welcome Dr. Ted Mitchell.
Thank you, President Pulsifer. Great to see you all. I'm thinking about enrolling, but I'm going to wait a few years. Members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished guests, graduates, family, friends, it's terrific to share this moment with you. I'm very grateful to be here, and Scott, particularly grateful to share the stage with you this afternoon. Before I address the graduates, I'd like to say a couple of words to you, President Pulsifer. I want to thank you for the leadership that you've provided to WGU. It has been truly, truly outstanding. You've led WGU to become a real force, not only in the lives of the 100,000 plus graduates of the institution, but in the field of higher education. You took the helm of an institution that was already thriving and built upon its many strengths to make it a beacon for American higher education. Unlike most of the presidents I spend my days with, you're not a Tweety academic. I think some would say that you were a non-traditional choice to run a major university, but that's the point. Like WGU itself, and like today's graduates, you're breaking the mold and setting a course that meets today's learners and tomorrow's economy, the needs of today's learners and tomorrow's economy, through technology-powered and people-inspired innovation that's laser-focused on you, on student success. And that's exactly what American higher education needs today. As we start, could I ask the graduates to one more time thank the friends and family who are here and who have been a part of your journey, who provided that support and occasionally that kick in the pants that we all need to be able to get to the finish line. And now to the guests of honor. If I have my math right, in my over 40 years in higher education, I've listened to about 100 graduation speeches. So I really feel your pain right now. I promise to follow Franklin Roosevelt's wise advice to be sincere, be brief, and be seated. So I have three things that I want to say to you today. First, congratulations. Your achievements are impressive, individually and collectively. The size of this graduating class alone is an indication that there's something very special and very important going on at WGU. It's not every institution that needs to divide its ceremony to be able to celebrate all of its graduates. Individually, you have made sacrifices to be here today. Whether it's staying up late after putting the kids to bed, whether it's finding time after a long day at work to put in just a few more hours at your computer. Yep, you've made sacrifices to be here today. And guess what? You made it. Give yourselves a hand. Scott talked a little bit about some of the demographic features of this class. In addition to the things that he mentioned, I'm sure you know 90% of you work full or part-time. A fair number of you are parents yourselves. How many parents in the class? Yeah, that's a fair number. Goodness gracious, congratulations. So you know what it takes to be able to balance your work, your parenting responsibilities, your other family responsibilities, that thing called real life. And you've done it, and you've done it marvelously, and you're to be celebrated today. All of the research suggests that, I'll be done, really. You'll note that my kids aren't here today because they would have started heckling a bit 4 minutes ago. All of these things, being a parent, working full or part-time, being a veteran, being a first-generation college student, coming from a low-income background, being a racial minority, all of these are considered risk factors by researchers, risk factors that often prevent people from getting to the finish line that you are at today. Yet, as President Pulsifer mentioned, not only have you gotten to the finish line, but you've gotten to the finish line faster than traditional students in traditional institutions could ever dream of. And I think that that is an important fact, not only about this class as a whole, but about each and every one of you. And in fact, it's easy to talk about numbers, but it's also important to realize that behind those numbers are your stories, your individual journeys to this point. Students like Erica Smith. Erica, stand up and wave. You around? There you are. Erica, like a lot of us, struggled in high school. She was stymied by family obligations and dropped out of community college not once but twice before deciding to give it one more go. She found the WGU's structure, its foundation and support shaped her into the type of student she never thought she could be. She says she has not only gained a degree from WGU, but a new perspective, new outlook, and new confidence as she plans to take all of that back to her job as a curriculum designer at Cigna. Erica, congratulations. Also here today is Scott Bach Hansen. Scott, in the house? There you go. Scott's a first-generation college graduate, a minister, a father of 3, and a husband. Those are just a few of the things that define aspects of who Scott is. After Scott's father lost his battle with cancer, he dropped out of college and made work his primary focus. 3 promotions later, he found himself in charge of hiring employees required to have a college degree, a degree he didn't have himself. Following a shakeup at his company during the recession, he was left without a job. He found it difficult to even get an interview, and he knew that he needed to earn his post-secondary degree. Scott enrolled at WGU and today serves as Director of Business Development for an international engineering firm. Scott says he is proud to finally add college graduate to those other descriptors. Scott, congrats. So these are 2 stories. There is a story behind each and every one of you, and we're here today to celebrate those stories, to celebrate the journey that you've been on. So, congratulations. Number 2, I want to thank you. By taking the challenge you have and by surmounting them, you are already making an impact. Your degree will have an impact on your lives, to be sure. The data are very clear. You will earn more, have more and better career opportunities. You will statistically improve your health and sense of well-being. But you will have an impact in other ways as well. Be proud of the example that you are setting for others. I remember well watching as my father balanced work and family to gain his degree. Those were the days, mind you, when distance education meant long trips in the family station wagon and assignments mailed to and from a distant campus. But even today, I know how important watching him was for me in shaping the way that I thought about my own education, and later about education policy, but that's another story. So for your sons, daughters, spouses, cousins, nephews, neighbors, your journey will be a part of your family's trajectory and your community's trajectory, and will impact their ideas of what is attainable. You will truly lift as you rise. You will also expand the impact that you have on your workplace, whether that's a hospital, a school, a business, a nonprofit, or heaven forbid, government. The knowledge you've acquired will make those better organizations, not just because of what they do and what you do there, but how they do it and how you help those organizations be better as well as do better. You will inspire those who work with you and those who work for you to continue their own educational journeys, perhaps right here at WGU. And you will have an impact on your communities. Not only are you called on, but you take on additional responsibilities in the communities in which you live. We know from research that individuals with associate's and bachelor's degrees take leadership roles in their local towns and cities, in volunteer and nonprofit organizations, and importantly, in the day-to-day interactions that define who we are as an inclusive and generous democracy. So, for all of these things, I thank you. But I want to thank you and WGU for one more thing. Thank you for showing us the future. Scott talked about the demographics of this class. Let me put that in the context of the rest of the nation. A moment ago, I compared you with so-called traditional students. Well, guess what? That formulation is outdated and outmoded. Most college students in America today are like you. The average college student is between 25 and 28. 1 in 5 is over 30. Don't know how many are over 80, but we'll figure that out. More than half are financially independent of their parents. 1 in 4 is caring for a child or a parent. The majority work full or part-time, and many stop out for periods of time while finishing their degree. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, in aggregate, 73% of students enrolled in college today fall into one or more of those categories. So we're not talking about traditional and non-traditional students anymore. We're talking about the new normal student. That is the future of higher education. You are the future of higher education in this country. Yet too much of our higher educational system is organized around the notion that a college student is an 18-year-old who gets dropped off in the family minivan at Leafy State University. He or she moves into the dorm, and 4 blissful years later, they march across a stage with for a diploma and an education that somehow will last them for their lifetimes. It's fantasy. Well, okay, it's not fantasy, but it is a narrow slice of what higher education is today. One of the things that makes your journey so important is that you have challenged this system. You have prevailed against its imperfections, and you have partnered with an institution that just sees the world differently, sees the world through the lens of the new normal student, and has built programs and systems that reach students where you are, on your own terms, at your own pace, with rigor, support, and flexibility. Western Governors is unique because it's designed to remove so many of the barriers students at other, more traditional institutions face. WGU offers students flexibility to learn at your own pace. WGU has pioneered a unique and powerful faculty model that gives you access to the right support from the right person at the right time. WGU has created a pricing model that enables you to complete your coursework in a way that doesn't break the bank. WGU has built a competency-focused curriculum that focuses on learning outcomes rather than class time. And WGU students are given invaluable resources to put to work on behalf of their success, whether those are state-of-the-art distance learning technology, advanced curriculum models, or that truly dedicated faculty I mentioned a moment ago. And this model is working. WGU boasts a graduation rate 11% higher than other institutions serving adult learners. The levels of student, graduate, and employer satisfaction regularly outpace the national average. Student debt levels of graduates have been steadily decreasing. Let me say it again, they're decreasing. Yeah, that's right. And employment outcomes for graduates are at 96%. So the education that you have worked to achieve here at WGU has not only been flexible, it's not only been done in a way that is student-focused, but it is excellent. This is a high-quality degree of which you, I hope, are very proud. At ACE, we're trying to do our part to encourage a climate where transformative models like WGU can thrive and where every student in this country has access not just to any old higher education, but to quality higher education. As a country, we can do more to support innovative practices and innovative institutions. Institutions that increase access, affordability, and completion across the nation, particularly for students who have not been served well by the old system. New normal students from whatever background. Low-income students, students of color, first-generation students, and Americans from rural communities where education resources are sparse. They all need a high-quality higher education, and it's high time that this country provided it. That's the WGU story, and that's your story. Our friends here in Washington should take note. Third, and finally, I want to give you a last homework assignment. Take the square root of 73 divided by 12. Now is your time to take what you've learned and make us all better. Remember the obstacles you've overcome to get here and help others overcome theirs. Mentor others. Speak out for causes you believe in. Your success and the knowledge that you've gained here are powerful examples of what's possible and powerful tools for change. You are transforming yourselves, your families, and your communities. And yes, you are the ones who are setting the example. You are the ones who will go back to your loved ones, your jobs, and be the face of success in this country. You are what America was designed to produce and to celebrate. And I am hopeful for our future, our nation's future, because of you, because of what you have done and what you will do. The truth is, everything you've done to get here today is noteworthy. But what you will continue to do from this day forward is going to change this nation for the better. Your stories, your journeys are not done yet. Thank you for letting me be here today. Good luck and congratulations.